Hey Lane, nice job. I really like how you're fitting this character into the background, and the shadow looks really great. So just a few suggestions. I would still suggest making. Oh, do you have the background in there too? Let's see. Oh yeah, I just had to move the background out, but I would still suggest a little bit larger. I mean, I know you're going for this kind of magazine cover thing, which I think is great, but I think that just for the purpose of, the client and all that stuff, I would make this bigger just because I think that it really needs to be the highlight of this. And it needs to be more about the caricature than about the setting. So that's one suggestion. I think I made it before. I'd move it over. I really like how you put this Made in America in the light space of the this lighter color. So I would probably do that. I mean, it could even be bigger. It's still quite small in relation to the background. Even something like this. You might want to double check your size too. I don't think it's 8 by 10. It looks more like it's 8 by 11 or something like that. But then you've got this here, and then what I would suggest doing is I would move these this text on different layers. So each word would be on a different layer. Then you can fit them into this negative space right here. So it's not it's not that hard to do either. So you can just take part of it, like let's say I'm going to take this terrible, and I'll copy it and then make a a new layer. Oh, whoops. And then copy it there. I don't know, let me see, did it copy or not? It doesn't seem like it did. No, darn. So anyway, I would take each word and put it in a different layer. So then you could really, put like Todd's, you could put Todd's terrible toys, something like that. And though I like the styles and I think it stands out nicely, I would still probably go to DaFont and find something that was a little bit more interesting and intriguing, and that would go more with this caricature. I mean, DaFont has so many different, just tons of different. Oops. It has so many different fonts. I mean, so you could just go with something kind of fun, or, I don't know about decorative. I probably wouldn't go with any of those, but even some of these that are just a little bit looser. I think this is a pretty cool one. I think that it would really just add a little bit more to the caricature, and hence make a little bit stronger of a portfolio piece as well. You might want to also, let's see here. Where's your toy? You might want to do a layers adjustment on some of these. So for example, the Game Boy, I would just try it. I would do levels, not layers. And then you can move it over. You have to clip it, so just look at the Game Boy. Just to make it pop a little bit more. Let's see if that does anything. So I'm just going to clip it. So let's see. Didn't do much, but it did make it pop a little bit. Another thing you can consider doing is the hue and saturation. That's another way to really make it pop too. So you can just up the saturation. You can see it's really getting saturated. Now you might not want it that bright. You can make it less saturated too. But again, just some ways to make to make it pop a little bit. Again, I'm going to clip this. So anyway, just a few suggestions, and again, you might want to play around with some of the ears as well. But I think that if you make this, I would probably even move the toy over more, just a little bit more. Up. Yeah, but I think once you crop it off a little bit, because I think it's not the right size, I think it'll have a little bit more unity as well. One more little thing you could do, I copied the screen right here. I'm going to make it bigger. There's a pretty cool effect, and I'm not saying you want to do it because it probably doesn't really even need it. You could go into the filters and just go to the filter gallery, and there's this kind of cool filter that let's see. I mean, there's different ones too. You could do the line one, you can do a dot, looks like kind of a printing pattern. The circle I wouldn't do, but the line looks more like a TV, so you just might want to try it. I mean, I would do it with green here. If you have that green color selected here, it's going to be in green instead of black and white. So again, you know, pretty easy to get that kind of a green screen color. That's not really it, but and then make this just a little bit lighter. And then if you did it again, I'm going to go up to the history, and I'm going to go back up to that too. And then with those colors selected, if you go into the filter gallery again, you're going to see those two colors. And again, those aren't perfect, but you kind of get the idea of what you can do if you want. I mean, it's not really that necessary, but it does add a little bit more coolness to it. So anyway, I think it looks great. Another thing that I would suggest too, the black text behind, let me see, this is a little bit difficult to read, though I think it's really fabulous. But again, with something like a tagline like this, I would definitely make it kind of a different font, and maybe make it italicized, or kind of a loose handwriting font works good, and just make it stand out a little bit. But anyway, nice job.